Best-selling author and physician Robin Cook is known for his medical thrillers. His 29th book, Intervention, is due out in August. Cook has spent time in Naples since the 1980s, and he recently sat down to talk about his latest novel in his penthouse at the Enclave overlooking the Gulf of Mexico.
How I distinguish myself from a lot of the other bestseller writers. And two things. One, that I don't write the same book over and over.
Okay.
And two is that you actually learn something when you read one of my books.
Yes.
Something about, usually it's about medicine or biotechnology or something of that sort. And because the whole reason I started writing was thinking of trying to use entertainment as a way of conveying information, particularly about medicine. So what happened was that I wrote my first book, and it wasn't, at least initially, it wasn't a bestseller. And I was really crushed. I got a bunch of old bestseller lists and started to look to see which kinds of books would suddenly appear, maybe a writer you hadn't seen in bestseller lists before, and what kind of books was it that seemed to be, that the public generally liked. And then of course you can immediately see certain number of authors. And so at that point I had never read a bestseller. I didn't have time. Well, I thought I didn't have time. So I read an enormous number of bestsellers in a very short period of time. And then I started, I tried to think of what would be a good way to try to learn the technique of writing. And I decided that probably the best thing would be to write scripts. Because you have to tell a story in dialogue. And so I wrote a bunch of scripts. It's going to combine archaeology and medicine, and it's going to combine science and religion. So these are things two things that you would not think you could combine. What does medicine have to do with archaeology, and what does science have to do with religion? Yet, my sense is that as technology increases, which it is at an exponential rate, we're going to actually get closer and closer to religion. No, I have a sense that I can't really explain the complexity of the universe without bringing forth some feeling of some being or something. It's hard to explain, I guess, but I guess I'm an agnostic of sorts.